Welcome back to Resurrection Life Church's Anchored VBS Week 2. I hope you enjoyed Week 1. Let's talk a little bit about what we learned last week. Do you remember meeting our friend Diver DJ? She learned that God is faithful. Trust God. And that God will help us when we feel scared, alone, or confused. Now, do you also remember that we learned a Bible verse last week? We had some moves that went along with it, so let's do that together. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Remember, that word endures means that it goes on and on and on. It doesn't give up, or it doesn't wear out, and it doesn't stop. So today, we're going to start talking about Week 2 of Anchored VBS. So today, we're going to talk about our lives. Our lives, I have to get something that I want to show you about our lives. Let me see. So, our lives are like a journey or a trip. That's what the word journey means. So, can you imagine? You see, I have this lovely lake water here. We're at the lake. And I took some lake water and I put it in the cup, and this cup is my life, right? It's gonna be representing my life. Let's pretend the water inside of it is all the things that I can do in my life. So I'm born, I go to school, I go to middle school, I go to high school, I go to college, maybe I get married. Maybe I have some kids and I go to work, and at some point, everybody's cup comes to an end, or everybody's cup runs out. There's no more in the cup. But when we think about the end of life, it can sometimes make us sad. But God loves us so much that He sent His Son, Jesus. Jesus showed us God's faithful love. And Jesus has the incredible power. And with that power, we can have a life that isn't going to run out like this cup. Think of how many drops of water are in this cup. If you had to take your little eyedropper and put drops of water in this cup, that would be a lot of drops of water, right? Even though there's eventually going to be no more drops of water in this cup. Well, with God, our life isn't like a cup. It's like a lake. Can you think of how many drops of water are in that lake? It goes on and on and on forever. It endures forever. So, with that power, with Jesus' power, we can have life that goes on forever. Not in a lake. In heaven with Him. It goes on and on and on forever. So to make that life happen for you, Jesus had to give up His life by dying on a wooden cross. Jesus didn't just die, though. He didn't stay dead. Jesus has God's power, and that power is stronger than death. He came back to life again. Jesus did this for us so that we could live forever with Him in heaven. Jesus showed God's faithful love to us. He was the best example ever of God's faithful love because He died on a cross for you and for me. So today at Anchored VBS, we are going to celebrate Jesus' faithful love and God showing us His faithfulness by reciting our Bible verse one more time together. Are you ready? Here we go. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. So as you go out and about this week, I want you to think about what Jesus did for you. A really great reminder of God's faithful love is the wristband that you are going to get at the end of week 3. You're going to get both this wristband and a cute little Bible buddy on a carabiner. The Bible buddy is going to help you remember how to recite our Bible verse. Can we do that one more time before we leave? Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Let me pray before we go. God, thank you so much for faithfully loving us, even though we all sin. Thank you for loving us enough to send Jesus and to let Him die on a cross for us. We are so thankful, God, for your deep, deep love. We trust that you are making a heavenly home where we can be with you forever. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everyone, have a great week at Anchored VBS. I hope you have so much fun, and I hope you learn so much. Bye.
Looking out in the great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. Maker of all the universes on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, He is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? Looking out at this great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. Maker of all the universes on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, He is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? When I just don't understand.
God is for me.
When life doesn't go the way I planned.
God is for me.
When I just don't understand.
God is for me.
When life doesn't go the way I planned.
God is for me.
God is for me. Who can be against me? God is for me. Who can be against me? He is my strength, He is my friend forever. God is for me. Who can be against me? God is for me. Who can be against me?
That is it. I am done.
Oh my goodness, DJ. What happened to you? Did you go in the lake? Ugh. Ugh. Here. I think you forgot one of these.
Thanks. But after today, I won't need one. I'm done with swimming and diving. In fact, I think I'll even change my name. What do you think of Driver DJ? Or Diner DJ? Would you like fries with that one?
Okay. How about Dryer DJ? And you tell me what is going on and why are you all wet and why are you talking about quitting diving when you just started learning?
I was just learning. I remembered what you said about God being faithful and comforting. So I went out in the lake. I put on all my gear and I got a swimming teacher. She went with me too. She took me out to about, this deep in the water. She taught me how to doggy paddle, how to hold my breath, and even how to float on my back. But that's when it happened.
What happened?
A big, huge, ginormous, massive wave wrapped me up, turned me around, pushed me to my knees, and put my head in the sand. Waves are big, mean bullies.
You got that right.
Besides, if God was so faithful, then why didn't he comfort me, help me get up? Why did he let him knock me over?
Well, I can see why you say that. But here's the thing. God's faithfulness doesn't mean that we're never going to get knocked down. It does mean that when we fall, God will be there to help us back up. So tell me about your swimming teacher. When you got knocked over by the wave, what did she do then?
She helped me up, she brushed the sand out of my eyes, and then she bought me ice cream.
Oh, well, God kind of does the same thing for us.
He really buys us ice cream?
No. He does pick us up, brush us off, and he comforts us. When the storms and waves of life knock us down, God is faithful. Trust God.
So if I go out there and try it again, God will faithfully comfort me if I fall?
That's right. He definitely will. And frankly, I think with a name like Diver DJ, you have to go out there and try again.
Yeah, my name is pretty great.
It's perfect. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. I think you need to keep practicing, and before you know it, you're gonna be Super Diver DJ.
Look out, waves! I'm back!
All right, this looks like a pretty good spot. I'm gonna put down right here. Don't want to lose my paddle. Right. See if I can catch anything today. Well, welcome back again. Here with Storytime Taylor. So, yesterday we learned that God is faithful. I caught you off guard on that first one. We'll get there. And the verse we learned was 1 Chronicles 16:34. It says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever." Now, some of you are like, I don't know how to remember that song. Well, there is a song out there that I believe, and I have to go back and look at it. I think it's Forever, or His Love Endures Forever, or something like that. But it goes, "Give thanks to the Lord, our God and King. His love endures forever." Right? That kind of thing. So if you have to remember that one, for he is good, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Yeah. That's the song that gets in my head to help me remember that verse. Yesterday's story was from the Old Testament. Now remember, this Bible Discovery, I need my Bible. There we go. Here's my Bible. Old Testament, meaning the first half of the Bible. People like Daniel and Obadiah and Micah and Zechariah and Zephaniah and Malachi and all those prophets in the Old Testament, and Kings and Chronicles and Deuteronomy and all those things. Today we are opening to the New Testament, right? These are stories about Jesus and what happened after Jesus was walking on earth. Now, hopefully you know who this guy is by now. Is it Joash, or is it Joab, or is it Jonadab, or is it... No. It's Jesus. We're learning about Jesus today. Now, I'm actually going to read you two stories. And the first one you can read in Matthew. I'm going to go to chapter 14. There we go, 14, verses 22 to 33. Now, I heard this story from Tony, who told Tina, who told Thomas, who told Tally, who told me. But you could also just find it in Matthew 14. So it says, immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. When he had sent the multitudes away, he went up to the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there. So he put his disciples on a boat and said, you go swim across, you go on your boat, and then he went and prayed, which is always a good thing to pray. Jesus needed to pray. But the boat was in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was not so nice. Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. I'm sorry. Have you ever tried to walk on water? It doesn't work so high. At least it doesn't for me. Remember yesterday I fell in? Yeah, it doesn't work so well for me. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled and said, it's a ghost! That's probably my reaction too. And they cried out for fear. Can you give me a cry like you're freaking out? Yeah, okay, that's good. But immediately, Jesus spoke to them and said, be of good cheer, it is I, do not be afraid. Can you give a talk to the hand? Do not be afraid. All right. I would still be a little bit freaked out. And Peter answered him. Peter's one of the disciples. And said, Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water. So first they think it's a ghost. Then Jesus speaks. And then Peter's like, oh, pick me. Anyone else like that? So he, Jesus, said, come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, I couldn't do that. Oh my gosh, whoa. He walked on the water to go to Jesus. Can everyone say, wow? Wow. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, meaning very strong, he was afraid. Yeah, that would be my response. Be afraid. And he began to sink and cried out, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and he caught him and said, oh, you have little faith, why did you doubt? And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. And those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, truly you are the Son of God. God is so faithful. All right, we're getting there. Good job. We're getting there. I just think that God is so faithful because he is God. God made everything. God put breath in your lungs, put breath in my lungs. He is the creator of everything, the beginning and the end. And he, if he wants to, can walk on water. That makes him so. I'm going to put my faith and trust in someone who made everything and, I don't know, can walk on water. I just think that's amazing. Now the second story also deals with water. We're still in the New Testament, but this time we're going to be in Mark chapter 4. So if you know your books of the Bible in the New Testament, it goes Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We are in Matthew, so that means Matthew. Oh, it's the next book. I'm going to flip over to the next book. Okay, I'm going to read it. Here we go. So we got Jesus, who can walk on water. No big deal. Can walk on water. Here's the next one. It says, in verse 35, on the same day when evening had come, he said to them, let's cross over to the other side. Now when they had left the multitude means crowds. There are lots of people who wanted to see Jesus. I mean, hello, seeing a guy who can walk on water, that's kind of a big deal, but there's lots of other miracles that he did. And a great windstorm arose, again with the storms, and the waves beat on the boat, so that it was already filling, water coming inside of the boat, oh gosh! Water's coming inside. And he was in the stern, asleep on a pillow. Now, if you don't know boat directions, we're gonna go through them really quick. The bow is the front. Bow, front, like you're bowing forward, front. The stern is behind you. The stern has the rudder which makes you turn. Stern, turn. Turn. Back here, turn. Bow, stern. Jesus was sleeping back there. Sleeping in a storm. Ah. Almost lost my paddle. Sleeping in a storm in the back. And the disciples said, "Teacher, do you not care if we are perishing, if we're drowning? There's water on the boat." Then he, Jesus, arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace." You do the peace sign. "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased or stopped, and there was a great calm. But he said to them, "Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?" And they feared exceedingly and said to one another, "Who can this be, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Now, we have seen that God is faithful. Nice, good job. That God is faithful, right? He's worthy to be trusted because he made everything. And we see from Jesus that even if we fall, he will catch us and he will help us. God is faithful. So we learned on the first day that God is faithful to complete what he set out to do. We learned from Peter that God is faithful to catch us even if we fall. And we've learned from this that God is faithful because he made everything and has control everything. He is worthy to be trusted. Having faith in something is like trusting in something. Like maybe you trust your siblings or you trust your mom and dad, right? It's having faith. We are trusting in God. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. He's worthy of being trusted. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were around in Jesus' time, I would want Jesus as my friend. And the sad thing is that not everyone was like that. Not everyone wanted Jesus as their friend. In fact, Jesus was sent to help people, and the people he went to help ended up killing him. Jesus was doing things and telling them to live a certain way, and they felt threatened by it. They couldn't do it. So, why did that happen? How did that happen? Well, in order to talk about that, I have to talk about something called sin. Now, sin is like, where's my net? Where's my net? There's my net. Sin is like a fish being caught in a net. There's no way for the fish to get out on its own. There's another type of net I've got here. Like a basket net like this. Right? It's got kind of a circular shape to it, and if a fish gets in here, it'll just swim in circles and circles and circles and not get out. Sin is knowing the right thing to do, but not doing it. That's kind of a really simplified, boiled down version of what sin is. And everyone, the Bible says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Nobody's perfect. Everyone is caught in sin. Now, it would be nice if you were a fish caught in a basket for someone to help you out of the basket. But if everyone's caught in a basket and everyone's caught in, as a fish and there's no way to get out. You need someone to help you. And that's what Jesus was set out to do. John 3:16, if you know it, says, "For God so loved the world that he sent his only son." God's son, Jesus, came on earth to save you, to save me, because we couldn't get ourselves out. He was the fish that never got caught. The fish that never got caught. And he jumped in this net for you. He jumped in this net for me, so that I could get out, so that you could get out of sin. Every time you've stolen something and you knew you shouldn't have, or you lied and you knew you shouldn't have, every time that you did something you were not supposed to do, Jesus said, I'll take the hit. I'll take his place. And he died. A death that I should have died, that we should have died. He took the basket and he let us go. He's the only one that could do it. Now, it would be really sad if I stopped the story there, but the awesome thing is, because God is so faithful, is that he didn't stay dead. Remember we talked about that God is in control of everything, even life and death. And after 3 days, he said, all right, I'm done being on that cross. It's time for me to get up. And he rose from the grave and showed himself to so many people so that they would believe. That's what John 3:16 says, that whoever believes in him will not die, but have everlasting life. So I've got a question for you. Do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe he can do what he said he can do? Thank you for joining me today. I hope this hits home, and I hope some people ask some more questions about this Jesus, who can calm the sea, who can pick us up when we fall into the water, or pick us up from anywhere.
Well, hi everyone, Miss Cameron's back, and I hope you all are enjoying Anchored VBS. Last week we made our mama sea turtles, and I bet you they were totally turtly. My turtle's name was Mama May. Last week we talked about God is faithful. Trust in God. And we're going to continue to talk about that over today and next week. So, I have some questions for you. Question 1. How long do you think it takes a baby sea turtle to hatch from its egg? If you think it takes 14 days, I want you to give me a thumbs up. If you think it takes more than that, give me a thumbs down. So, drum roll please. Well, the answer is between 45 and 70 days for a turtle to hatch. That's more than half the summer. Can you believe that? Wow, God is faithful. So, the way God made baby sea turtles is amazing. And you know why? Let's say it. God is faithful. Trust in God. So when baby sea turtles are in their egg, when they're hatched, they have a little tiny tooth right on the top of the shell. They use that tooth to poke through the shell, and that's how they're hatched. So, do you think baby sea turtles hatch in the day or the night? What do you think? If you think the daytime, I want you to put your hands on your head. If you think the nighttime, I want you to put your hands on your legs. All right, drum roll please. Well, they don't crack their eggs when it's hot out. You know why? Because there's lots of birds and other sea creatures out there that can eat the eggs. So they wait until nighttime when it's dark and cool out. In a nest of 100 eggs, do you think there are more boy turtles or girl turtles? If you think there are more boy turtles, place your hands on your head. If you think there's more girl turtles, place your hands on your legs. So, drum roll please. And the answer is, it depends on the temperature of the nest. Can you believe that? Whether it's too hot or it's too cold. The warmer the sand, the more girl turtles. The cooler the sand, the more boy turtles. God is faithful. Trust God. God is so incredible. He knows what he's doing all the time, even when we don't. Thank God. Trust God. All right, so now we're going to make our turtles. So what I want you to do is get your craft bag. You should have everything in this little bag. Take everything out nice and gently. And in this bag, there's going to be shells. Be very careful. They're wrapped in paper towel so they don't break. Okay. So you got your shells. I'm going to set those down. And then take out your foam turtles. Okay. Now the foam turtles on one side, you can see the lines where it was traced. I want you to take that and set it down on the nice clean side, okay? So you set that down. Everything's gonna blow away in a minute, so bear with me. Set those down. And this is what the turtle's gonna look like when we're done, okay? So first, you're gonna get your shells. You're gonna pick one of the markers. We have the black, the orange, and the brown. So if you want, you can color it, or you can leave it looking just like this, which is very nice. So you just color it. Just like this. And if you want, you were given a whole package of markers. You can use any color you want. It's up to you. Okay. So you do that. And then you get your glue. Okay. Now these shells are going to need a lot of glue. You're going to put just a lot of glue. See that? It's going to be, should be purple, might be blue. And if your hands get sticky, your host should have some wipes in your bag. You're going to put glue on the side where there isn't any marks. And don't be shy with the glue. Just put it right on there, just like that. Okay. You're going to take your shell. You're going to stick it right on. Your hands are going to get sticky. Mine already are. You're going to press gently because we don't want to break the shell. Okay. And then after that, you have googly eyes. My fingers are sticking to this baggie right now. I told you. So, you get your googly eyes. And you get your glue again. Lots of glue. Lots of glue right on that head, right there. And you're going to stick on the eyes. Oh, see, my fingers are sticking. Okay, they're sticking. There you go. So there's your baby turtle. When you're all done, you're going to have 4 right here. And the glue will dry clear, so you're not going to see the glue. So you put these baby turtles with Mama May Turtle, and you have your turtle family. God is faithful. Trust in God. Thank you all for joining me again today. I hope you're really enjoying this Anchored VBS. And always remember, God is there with you no matter what. God is faithful. Trust in God.
This is Anchored Hope, H-O-P-E. What gives you hope to keep going? In today's lesson, we talked about hope and how because God is faithful, we can have hope. Just like there's times in our lives when the world seems like it's crazy, even like right now, what keeps you going? Well, because we have God and we know that He's faithful, we can have hope in Him and keep going, even when it seems hard.